Guess what? We are back from the crypt. That's right. Grandpappy, I mean Uncle Reaper is back from hell to give you another fantastic show. God damn it. I actually wasn't coughing for a minute, but now, go figure. But also my brother, Mortimer Deadfellow, has come out of his crypt. Yes, we are back to bring you some more horror. And I don't mean from me coughing, even though it feels that way. But man, it's been too long. Missed this show. We love every single fucking one of you. And tonight we're going to be talking about some epic, iconic comedy horror that we haven't ever mentioned. These are some new ones. And I think you guys are really going to dig these. There's so much, excitement, buzz about comedy horror, especially in the last 5 years, that it's just like, man.
Art the Clown. Art the Clown.
You know what? And I'm glad you brought that up, Brother Mortimer, because people don't seem to realize that there is a shit ton of comedy that goes into the Terrifier films.
Oh, yes.
So people that are throwing up are just, not real horror fans, but real horror fans get it. He's having a good time when he's, sawing people in half.
You got to get into your work.
Yeah, there's literally an art to what he does. But as you know, we don't have to mention that. We've already mentioned it. So yeah, we got a great list for you. But before we get into our list for this evening and I start hacking up my skeleton or what's ever fucking left of it, we're going to take a quick commercial break to our brother over in the UK at Poison Valley Scareware. Check that shit out. Got to get over to poisonvalleyscareware.com. Dave's got some amazing new shirts over there just in time for all you ghouls and gals out there getting ready for the summertime. Midsummer? No. Well, maybe. You want to look your best when you're about to fall off the ledge of a mountain.
Bear suit.
Right. Or maybe you're going to get your skin peeled off.
or it gives you Nicholas
Cage love it.
Vibes and you just want to go, bees, not the bees.
No. Right? Exactly. Oh, man. I know. I'm trying not to there, Babylon. He says, don't cough up your throat bone. I'm trying not to, man. I feel it jiggling around, but I'm still kicking.
I've got dibs. I've always wanted a deeper range.
You can get it. You can get it. Welcome, Babylon, Lizzie, Cody, and everybody that I know that's going to be sharing this out anywhere and anywhere there is a horror lover. That's right. We're getting into epic comedy tonight. So you know what I want you to do? I want you to get your shrooms out. I want you to chop them up, saute them a little bit, maybe put them on a fucking sandwich. Get yourself a big fat joint. Maybe get ready to smoke that sumbitch. Or maybe a nice little, rocks glass of your favorite devil's nectar. Because we're about to fucking get into some great films tonight. That is what we're going to do. Shit. Where do we want to start off in the realm of epic? There's a reason I call it epic comedy horror. There are some films that are just so over the top comedic that they are epic in that way. And they had big budgets. Most of them do, to be perfectly honest. But they nailed it. That's the important thing. They nailed it. And they've been fucking classics forever. How long? Even recently, because we're going to be getting into some recent ones as well.
Yes.
Brother Mortimer, you have the floor, sir.
I swear I buried that body over. No, I'm sorry. All right.
I got a fresh corpse in the back room right now. So chilling on ice.
Hey, nice. I haven't embalmed in years, but I'm sure I still got it.
Well, I was going to say, after you've been embalmed 56 times. Anyway.
I told you not to share that, but it's all right. I still love you, but it's fine. All right. I have to hit our demons with a 1986 classic and one of my personal favorite films, Night of the Creeps.
Oh, man, that is an epic one indeed.
This movie also contains epic mustache.
There was something about the 80s. Tom Selleck was like the it man of sexiness.
Mustache. Yes.
He had the porn stash of the century. When that man batted his eyebrows like a fool, women just creamed themselves. So, I mean,
Sam Elliott.
Yeah. The man has had another epic fucking mustache. To this day, makes women want to drop their panties. So having that plus what you're seeing in the poster right there, we're looking at what is known as Zombieland before Zombieland actually happened, became a thing.
Yep.
I mean,
with its own unique twist on starting the zombie apocalypse.
Absolutely. Take us through this, brother.
I've got to take us through the aspect of this one, like I was just saying, that to start it all off. The beginning of this will make you feel like you're watching Critters.
Yes.
Because it is a space age comedy horror. Because you have a renegade group of sentient leeches that can pilot whoever they get into to do whatever they want them to. Now, there's another film that it would remind me of that was definitely inspired by this, which would be Slither. But I don't think that Slither could have really happened, and it had comedic elements in it too. So it really, to me, it's a modern take on Night of the Creeps. But you have a college fraternity, campuses, and everything. End up having something frozen on ice from the 1950s that gets to release and let these zombie making leeches out.
I mean, what is more epic than that when we think about leeches in general and how much they love to suck blood?
Right.
What if they were carrying something like this? Let's take it viral,
Exactly. No, that's what I liked about it. It's like a
totally believable.
It's like an infection. Exactly. It's like these sentient worms piloting you to get them more,
like having a fucking PS5 controller.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And to a large degree at first you can't tell. Right. If they don't want you to know that it's in there, you won't know right out of the gate. But then if they just don't give a shit and they're occupying the body to use it as like a weapon against you, which they do, and just for all our other viewers too, it doesn't a human being that they go into either.
Right.
Or living. So it gets, and that's one of my personal scenes is that. And I won't ruin it for people who have not seen it, but that you end up going back in time to the 1950s where you get to find out what is reanimated by these creatures. What
was kind of cool.
Yeah, exactly. It jumped around.
That it
the
could take you
comedy
back
and
in time.
even the
Um,
hard ass detective character, which was Tom Atkins,
Very
mustache,
typical. We
mustache,
love Tom Atkins. He's been in some.
one-liner king, nails some of the best one-liners in
Oh,
80s horror movies in this movie.
absolutely. And that was kind of the wonderful flavor that the 80s could give you. Is
And it
that they would
also gave
take
you
you
a
back in
heroine that could
time.
fight back too,
Right.
which we were starting to see that a lot in the 80s, which I've always enjoyed and you've always enjoyed in films, is you get that, I'm not a damsel, I can handle my own. You fight the zombies and I'll fight them too. And we'll do it together. And I really liked that about this one.
Absolutely. That's something that today's comedy horror can't give you. Because
Not as well.
no,
Not as
because
well.
in today's mind, let's put it that way, they think that the 90s are the 50s. So just
Right.
catapulting back to the 90s in a film is not the same thing because let's face it, that was just only 30 years ago. But then again, in the 80s, the 50s were only 30 years ago.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
the
Exactly.
90s wasn't as cool.
Right.
At least not in that respect. Let's put it that way.
Well, because I think it was also too that the 80s, you really had a movement for making new types of films and stuff that had never been tried before. Hence why we got horror movie, a lot of slashers, and we got Exorcist and all that was possession films and all the beautiful stuff coming out of Hammer Horror. People trying different shit. Exactly. Oh yeah.
Right. Lizzie, I am not mathing out your ages. Okay. I'm just saying that I know that this is fucking legit, people. Everybody out there in the Black Flame universe. I heard somebody in the store yesterday talk about the 90s like it was 100 fucking years ago.
Ouch.
And I had to say to myself, what?
Right.
You obviously have no concept of time, you fucking walking meat sack. Anyways, I'm sorry. That was Reaper's rant for the evening.
Well, that does kind of lead in, though, because that's pretty much how the sentient leeches look at you.
Yeah.
You're a meat sack to make more of them, and then they're going to take you to a populated area and release out more. So it's very panic virus. Oh, these, and these things breed worse than guppies, man. I mean, these things are worse than a mogwai dipped in a swimming pool. Okay.
Babylon for the win. Meat muggles.
Exactly. See, exactly. But it's kind of, they really are the aspect of like the mogwai and the gremlins. They generate a lot more of themselves. That really kind of makes it scary because these things are quick too. And just up across the wall and stuff you don't know, and then it gets into you, and then you're zombie walking like it's Thriller night.
Right. Totally. Excellent first pick. God damn.
What you got for me? Dig it out of that grave.
Oh, I got something in my little bag of lost souls. Thanks, Cody. Glad to hear that. It was 33 years ago this August. Fine. That's okay.
If you insist.
I'm immortal, so I don't give a shit.
Embalming fluid has done wonders for me.
Exactly.
I have most of my own parts.
For me, I gotta go. So there's a lot within just the last 15 years for me that really because I know Brother Mortimer here has got pretty much the past on lock for the most part. So I wanted to kind of bring a little bit of freshness because, like I said, it's hard to impress me when it comes to this genre.
It's difficult. It
is. It's extremely fucking difficult. Mm-hmm. So there's been a few films that have really stood out for me. And to piggyback a little bit
Ooh, please do.
off of the zombie-esque
Mhm.
genre, there is one comedy that brought it fucking home in so many different levels that stoners from here to Timbuktu still watch this film in their fucking dorms to this very day. And was it the Americans that got it right? No, it was the UK. I'm talking about Shaun of the fucking Dead. This film, I mean,
It's a
don't
roller
get me
coaster.
wrong, I love Zombieland, but
Oh, yeah.
Zombieland will never be Shaun of the Dead.
No, I agree. Yeah, different beats. This was more Romero love letter than Zombieland was.
Have to fucking agree.
Well,
Shaun of the
Romero's
Dead.
gonna put that heart in there. He
Yeah.
puts the tragic stuff that you deal with in the zombie apocalypse, but he also puts in the funny shit, the stuff that the zombie does, and with the two of them, especially the two leads, they're kicking gold off of them each other all the time. They're great duo.
Well, literally everyone involved in the cast before the zombie apocalypse even hits, like it takes a minute. It's what some people would say a slow burner, not in any stretch of the imagination. Between Sean and his best friend, who is like the traditional slacker. Let's drink. Let's get a pint. Let's fucking go to the Winchester.
Yeah,
every fucking 5 seconds
and go play video games
and then play video games.
Yeah.
And then they have the asshole, I'm responsible fucking third roommate.
Right.
That's constantly, trying to tell Sean, hey, don't fucking be like him, whatever.
If we make quote, it's 4 in the fucking morning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he's, having trouble with his gal, because he's not exactly the brightest, rose in the thorn bush. But and she's got those two friends that are haggling him and shit. Mm-hmm. And that every like encounter is just hilarious.
Well, it's realistic though too for a guy that's down on. I mean, he's life is kicking the ever loving crap out of him. And but he's got the core people that he's trying to make stuff better with, even like you said before, stuff kicks off with the zombies.
But nobody, when we do get to the zombie portion of this film, when did we ever see somebody just throwing vinyl fucking records?
That is true. I've never seen
to kill a zombie that's coming at you, not even full speed. The fucking some bitches.
Oh yeah. No, but see, and that's the thing, though. That's what for me that it was Romero style.
Oh, sure.
And granted, he was in, I believe, Land of the Dead.
Yep.
Sean got to show up as a zombie. Him and Edgar Wright were zombies in Land of the Dead. Because George said, hey, come be zombies. And they're like, of course. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I mean, as one would to George Romero.
You wouldn't, exactly. But I think that's why they said for Sean why their zombies were the slow zombies and not, 28 days later when they run you down.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be real interesting because 28 years later is coming out very soon.
Yep. I will check it out. First two, so I will definitely check it out. Of course, for all the demons. But no, that's amazing. That's a great choice. That's a cult classic. That
Lock, Stock, and Barrel. The comedy is constant.
Yep,
it never fucking stops. But
there is horror too.
There totally is. This film bridged the gap between. We are fucking hilarious, and then all of a sudden, bam, something seriously horror happens.
Yeah.
Or they have to make a serious choice. And it's gripping at times. And then they slap you in the face again, that was one of the sequences that I think that I loved about the film the most. is when they're trying to make a decision, they kind of take the camera into their heads as they're thinking about
and
or
speeding
talking.
up time and okay, we
Yeah.
go, yeah.
And they think that's how it's going to work out. And the fact that it always ends up at the Winchester fucking makes me die laughing every time.
Oh yeah, exactly. No, exactly. Because that's that, like you said, that's a perfect. It's like, oh, if the zombie apocalypse happened, I'm going to be Negan. I'm going to go get my leather jacket and run around with the baseball bat. And then as soon as you walk out your front door, 20 zombies come out and rip your arm right off. And it's like,
Exactly.
oh yeah, okay, Negan, you get him, killer. It's like, but that's what I like movies that aren't afraid to have the person that's the lead or the hero, so to speak, a normal, everyday person. No special powers. No nothing. It's like I know these people. I grew up with these people turning into zombies. And that's what I really liked about it too, was it wasn't afraid to shy away from the gripping parts of gore. And you got gore too. He didn't let us down on gore.
Nope. It was gore with it.
Yeah, but the comedy was there as much as the love and the gore. Yeah, that's a perfect choice, dude.
And the fact that at the end of the film that they kept his zombie best friend, chained up so that Sean could go out in the shed and play video games with him.
Well, if they're still bros, I've got a couple zombies I know. I've known those dead beasts for years, but they're great. They're great guys. They really are. There's some knuckleheads. They get a little mossy here and there. Sometimes exactly that, half the time they're just hacking up spiders, but they're a good bunch,
Absolutely. I'm just hemorrhaging souls. That's
what's going on. I understand that. I've leaked souls from time to time myself. Yeah.
All right. What do you got next for them?
Well, speaking of leaking souls, I'm going to have to go into the 90s. We've been talking to you, but some in the 90s. I'm going to have to go at 1996, The Frighteners. Because I think this movie, especially at that time, was one of the other films to really bring back comedy and horror together. And you did it with Michael J. Fox.
Which was a wow.
No, he did a great job. And it's like, this is one of those films to where
that's what I'm saying.
Exactly. It's like the casting. The casting of each one of the characters is on point. And then it's like, for me, you have, a quick rundown for people that have not seen this film, which you should, is a guy gets in a car wreck and with his wife and then wakes up and literally sees in his mind the Grim Reaper hooded and all over the top of his wife, killing her. And he tells people that and they don't think he's a psychopath.
Right.
Well, come to find out, the accident gave him the ability to see the dead. And not like Sixth Sense, but like if he went to a graveyard, all of them are standing up by their graves, talking, doing their thing. Exactly. And they don't like him because he can see them.
Right.
But he's so in tune with the spectral world now that they can physically push him if they want to. Now, to me, shout out, my favorite ghost in the entire film is the judge.
Yes.
Who is played by John Astin, the original Gomez Addams. And he's got his jaw falling off his face. Poor bastard. He needs to come see me. I'd have stitched him up, have him looking 105. But there's a scene that I've got to share, especially for our Babylon, where he happens to find a mummy in a museum and proceeds to hump it. Then looks dead at the camera and goes, "I like it when they lie still like that." It's a ghost humping a mummy.
Exactly. A ghost.
You don't get that in most films.
A mummy in 1996, where that was just fucking shocking.
Right.
And it was a throwback to necrophilia.
Yeah, but it was the thing. Exactly. It was.
You can't beat that shit. It really was a film that kind of pushed a lot of limits.
No, it did. It caught a lot of people's attentions too, because
it did.
Come to find out, without revealing anything, the Grim Reaper has to do with somebody that was doing something nefarious throughout the film. And it's him
Wow.
trying to figure out, no. You look like the guy, but you don't look like the guy. Because you don't look like Gary Busey, but
Right.
yeah. But part
Well,
of
who
him you
doesn't
do.
fucking love Gary Busey though?
No, he did great. No, I was gonna say that's like this is one of the films I had to mention because there are very comedic slapstick parts, but there's parts that they played for scares, and you get such a wide variety of people. And the ghost shout out Arlie Army, everybody's most hated drill sergeant. You get him in there. It's also it's a movie that you could watch with your kids as long as they're not too young. Just watch it with them. And there's really funny ghost parts in it too, though. So that's why I had to go with the Frighteners.
No, absolutely. And the fact that it was kind of rated as, Michael J. Fox's worst film,
Which is crazy. I disagree with that.
isn't that kind of crazy? The film at its roots is really good. It's really well written, like you said, stellar fucking cast.
Ghost effects were interesting. I mean, a lot of different ways that, yeah, exactly. I think if what you're saying, I would say that they probably, critics felt that they tried too many new things in one project. But I disagree. I 100% disagree. I think it's a good film, or I wouldn't have. He knows I wouldn't have put it on my list.
No, exactly. And I think, that's what I'm trying to tie it all into, is the fact that you had two major films come out in the 90s. Yeah. So when this film hit, I think this is why it didn't resonate as well as it could have.
Oh, and yeah, because Michael J. Fox always makes money for whatever you put him in.
Well, sure. But he just couldn't top Scream.
Well, true.
And
which was Wes Craven going back to old slasher.
Correct.
Which is good. I'm not against that. But it's a different vibe completely on that front. But I think you're right. Scream took hold so much. A lot of stuff got just sidelined. It's like, oh, that's cool. Oh, let's watch Scream again.
Well, it didn't help that Army of Darkness came out before that.
Yeah.
Which captivated audiences so much that I think once Frighteners got dropped, it just didn't resonate as much because people were still high off of the grave dust of both of those films. Plus, you had a sequel to Scream at the same time.
Yeah. No, that's true. A lot of stuff, but that's also too with critics that'll sit there and tell you it's crap.
Yeah, critics.
No, exactly. I agree with you, 100%. If you think you're going to like a film or you like the premise or an actor or something, watch it yourself and get your own take on it. Because there's films that I could treasure that some people could watch and be like, I did not like that. I don't see what he's getting. He's crazy, and that's perfectly fine. That's exactly what we do here at the barbecue. We'll take you on options.
Oh, it's a journey.
Side dishes, but you also bring your own meat to the barbecue and your own sauce.
That's right.
For the films that make you happy and the ones that draw you in, it's the same as we do. We just try our best not to bring you dog shit.
Exactly. Which, don't forget, everybody, that's watching right now, don't forget to tell us some of your favorite epic comedic horror films as well. Maybe it's not on our list, and we would love to know what you're getting down to. Now, this next one was from the first time I heard about it, from the casting, I knew that this was going to be something special. When you take a classic monster and you put one of the most unlikely people to play the role of this classic Universal monster.
Yeah.
And you don't make the whole film about that Universal monster. You make it about his sidekick. And it is so fucking hilarious because honestly, who doesn't have a boss that makes you feel less than nothing? You do their bidding for little pay, little fucking life
Been
that
there.
you're able to get out of it. And, you know, maybe you find a support group for the fact that you work for this unfucking conscionable boss. And you put it into a film called Renfield.
Ah, great.
Unholy shit. If you are ready to laugh, if you are ready to just be like, totally resonates with you because you have a boss that drives you in this kind of way. Who would have ever imagined that Renfield, who serves Count Dracula, who is fucking the legendary Nicolas Cage, I don't care if you hate that actor. He is by far one of the greatest actors of the last 20 fucking years because he can play literally anyone at any given moment.
He was a very convincing Dracula. I have to give him that.
Dude, he was fucking insane.
Well, he went his own route.
Exactly.
And that's the thing with him. Exactly. I agree with you. He's got more balls than most actors will because he doesn't have to be, oh, I'm just going to be the guy that did Face Off. And I'm only going to do action films and stuff. It's like even his action films were crazy. He's nutter.
Awesome.
I mean, he's nuttier than a fruitcake.
His action films were crazy.
But we love him for it. And that's the thing. It's like when they say you ride that line of madness and genius at the same time, that's Nicolas Cage.
I have to say that as well.
Yeah.
This man is
he's
so
crazy, but he's great
brilliant.
at it.
You can stick him in any genre and he's going to own that shit.
Agreed. And that's the thing. A lot of people forgot about that he could be such a heavy hitter. And it's like, it's Nicolas Cage. He's been around for a minute. He grew up like John Travolta and all the rest of them did. That's why they did Face Off and it blew up. And John Travolta really hadn't had nothing for a minute there. And it's like, oh, him and Nick Cage do something together. And then boom, it explodes. And it's like, why? Because they do crazy shit, especially with Nick Cage.
The guy can the way he delivers lines is like a singer that does an impossible sonata. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you there.
Inflections, he can be perfectly calm. He can be perfectly insane the next minute, and then suddenly shrill for no reason. He can go through every human emotion in one fucking dialogue.
I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe it was the film that he did called Weatherman.
Oh, yeah.
And he delivered one of my most favorite of all time, exactly what you mean of Nicolas Cage, where this guy's in a line next to him and he literally looks at him and goes, have you ever been dragged out to the curb and beaten till you passed blood? And it's like, God damn. It's like it's 0 to 1,000 like that. And it's like Joe Pesci. It's like, I'm a little guy that's about to freaking kill you,
Yeah, exactly.
But, yeah. And it's like,
and then he can turn around and deliver one of the most heartwarming fucking characters, like Family Man.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And another one for him that I have to give him a shout out to quickly is Wind Talkers. I thought he did amazing in that.
Oh, that was some incredible shit.
And a story that needed to be told too. So, but
big time.
For the point on Renfield, I have to say Nicholas Hoult as well, that plays the part of Renfield, did an amazing job as well.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that to life because he's always been a great supporting cast guy.
Very much so. Yeah, he's also in The Great, the show with Catherine the Great on Hulu.
Yes.
Yeah, he plays Peter the He's not the great. So it's just
He's just Peter Pumpkin.
huzzah. But you know, he was a really smart exactly. He was a really smart choice though to play Renfield because it was believable too, that you know, like they put him in Nosferatu, you know, the most recent Nosferatu. You know, because he can play somebody that you believe, oh, you dressed him the right way. He was accountant, and you know, back then in the 1800s, I totally believe that. You know,
Babylon.
yeah, exactly.
Get it on the button as well. Trust me, I'm
this probably is
waiting
what got him
for
that
Prime
role.
Video to allow it for free because right now it's like $20.
Well, you know, you're going to get a lot of undead dong too.
Yes, I know. Bill Skarsgård's gonna have dick.
He lets it hang.
Well, you know, I think they're just, you know, for whatever reason, trying to get women wet about vampires again.
Yeah, but he's a corpse, though. Like, isn't he?
Exactly. So it's like corpse dick. So what does that tell you? Ladies.
Well, you need a lot of blood. I mean, you have to ask Ophelia. I mean, sometimes I need like a couple quarts in me, you know, or I'm just I'm old as shit. I don't know what I can say. Sometimes it's just a bunch of mice and dust mites holding hands. That's Mortimer.
Unholy fuck. But yeah. So the fact that they gave him this lead part, and who, you know, they prayed upon, I mean, who had such a vision that you would take an iconic character, two characters at that, of Dracula and Renfield, and make it about the fact that Renfield is feeling unappreciated.
Yeah,
he wants to leave Dracula. He's tired,
but he doesn't. You know, it's like,
of course he doesn't, but he goes to fucking therapy for it.
Yeah, exactly. He's like the unhappy worker, and it's like you've never.
Dude, it's brilliant.
Yeah, because you've never seen that side before. You've never gotten to witness the unhappy guy, like the hunchback. You know, like yes, master or something. You know, you don't ever see him at a court meeting. You know,
could you imagine Igor, going to a fucking therapy session and say, you know, Victor's being a bitch,
right? But see, I think if he showed up though, they'd like have to be. I ain't got nobody, and nobody for me.
Exactly, and then you know that the most epic scene in the whole film, I have to say, is the fact of when Nicolas Cage shows up at the fucking therapy session and kills every motherfucker in the whole place. That was fucking comedy brilliance.
It's Dracula.
It was horrific.
But see, I like that Nick Cage, though, took a little bit of inspiration from London After Midnight.
Oh, he sure did.
For his lovely toothy grin. But for Babylon, I know you said you haven't seen this yet. You do need to watch this one. I think you'll get a
Babylon. You're going to fucking love it.
And there's a lot of brutality in it that's just...
Oh, it's brutal as fuck.
Oh, yeah. But there are jokes, too, though. There's a lot of jokes.
It's hilarious. They're perfect for you. That's crazy. We're only like 2 films in. All right. What you got next for him, brother?
Well, I'm going to go back into the 80s because I have to. And for a lot of our demons, this is going to ring true. I got to go to 1984. And I got to take you to, when you got a question, who you going to call? Ghostbusters. This movie, for me, as a kid, had exactly what our theme of the evening is. It had really scary scenes and moments, and it had beautiful, beautiful comedy by comedy geniuses. Harold Ramis, especially, and Dan Aykroyd, and Ernie Hudson. Bill Murray can go fuck himself. Ooh, shots fired.
Woo!
He's an asshole, dude. If you were an asshole to Lucy Liu, you're an asshole. Okay, so you don't do that. That's Lucy Liu, man. Are you fucking blind? You know, it's Lucy Liu. and he was a dick. But other than that, he did add to this of the ensemble cast of the Ghostbusters, especially in the beginning before he was an ass. But still, for me personally, it was the other Ghostbusters that made this film because of how they would play off each other. Harold Ramis, especially Egon, Team Egon.
Oh man,
Rest in peace, Harold Ramis.
Exactly. He added more to the whole dichotomy of all of that than people realize.
Oh yeah, quite a bit. It's like quite a bit because it's like him and Dan Aykroyd created the entire thing.
Exactly.
It was like their baby. And it's like, but they also chose to not be the lead technically because they gave that to Bill. So for them also being his friends, they wrote him some of the best lines in it that makes you like Peter Venkman, even though he's the one that stands out the least on, okay, Winston is like feels like a firefighter. He'll run into a blazing building to save somebody without thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Ray has all of his mechanical knowledge and a high level of knowledge of the occult. Egon is like Tesla and Stephen Hawking if, they were put together and not in a wheelchair.
Yep.
Okay, and it's like Venkman is the only one that stands out as a sore thumb. So to me, Venkman is the audience as being a Ghostbuster. Minus Lewis, shout out. Gotta love Lewis. Lewis Toad.
Oh, absolutely. Because, Bill Murray's character was always kind of the wild card. He was the one that even before they became the Ghostbusters, he never took anything seriously.
Yeah, exactly. He's Mr. Sarcasm and I don't believe this, and then it's like, oh, let's go to the library, and you get to see the ghost in the library. Sure. And there's nobody in this room, I believe, that has not seen Ghostbusters. But I'm telling you right now, if you have not, go see the original Ghostbusters. It's not difficult. You want to see it. Your family can watch it with you. And exactly, you would get a little shame on you for not seeing this because this was huge. This is one of the biggest hits of the 80s, period, was Ghostbusters.
Oh, Babylon. The Burbs. The
Burbs was great. Yeah, no, that's a great one.
Balls.
That is a great one. You also the hot blonde related to, or not related, that's to the asshole neighbor. That's his wife, is Francine from American Dad.
Yep.
In the Burbs.
Oh shit. Death Becomes Her was also
that is a really good one too.
Classic.
I'm really pissed I didn't think about that because that's also one of Ophelia's favorite films. She learned a lot of tricks to keep herself together watching that movie.
Exactly.
Things to avoid, wood chippers, shit like that,
Absolutely. So my next offering is definitely something more of today.
Ooh.
When we think of possession films, especially demonic possession.
Learn the authority voice with your friends, fun and party.
Exactly. But in this case, it's way hipper. It's kind of metal in a way, at least in my opinion, because it's the age-old adage of, I will sell my soul to become a rock star. But in this case, they decide to sacrifice a high school student in order to accomplish this. Something that melds every element that, especially in the last 15 years, and it made this particular girl absolutely a megastar. We're talking about the film Jennifer's Body.
Ooh.
It's hilarious. It has emo kids. It has every nerd and everything else that you could imagine under the sun in one film.
Yeah.
And, the fact that the band that ends up fucking up the satanic ritual, which is so good because that just makes me laugh. They didn't realize that Jennifer was not, in fact, a virgin. How did they not figure that part out? So, when they did the ritual, it ended up turning her into a goddamn demon. And she must eat.
Yes, as a girl needs to. She's got to keep that ghoulish figure.
You know?
No. I mean, regenerating your skin takes a lot of goat juice. Let me let you know. I mean, it takes a bit. So
It's not shy in any sense of the imagination of gore either.
yeah, no, it doesn't hold back, and it's not afraid to go after like the teen issues that
Oh,
would happen
yeah.
in those type of situations. Yeah, with bullying, and it addresses a lot of different tones and stuff in the film. Yeah,
But it's fucking hilarious
yeah,
all at the same time. That's
yeah,
the thing,
yeah.
It
It's
it
dark
took
loaded humor throughout. Yeah,
absolutely. It took a lot of steps that a lot of comedic horror doesn't do, uh,
true.
and made it more relatable to so many kids, and that's why it's a cult classic.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah.
All right, what you got next for him, brother?
I'm gonna go into the 2010s with a
Dun,
little bit of Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
dun.
And for any of our demons,
It's time
this
to light the fires and kick the tires with this one.
you need to watch this film. Mortimer Reaper, we're telling you, watch this film. If you love horror movies, you love comedy, you will laugh your undead ass off. Or if your ass is living, that's okay. It'll be
Well,
numb, but you'll
yeah,
laugh it off.
exactly.
There's some of the most best comedy horror bits, in my opinion, in modern film. Period. In this modern gags that just your jaw is dropped, but you're holding your ribs because you cannot breathe because you're laughing so hard. Let me see. It was like a fresh sea breeze when you've been trapped in a chest for years, and I know about that. That's uncomfortable as hell. Well, Houdini tells you he'll teach you how to do a trick, and then you don't open the damn box. But it's all right. It's fine. I'm over it. But anyway, yeah, but that's what it was for horror. That's what it felt like to me. It was a fresh reawakening of comedy horror.
What?
What? What?
Babylon hasn't seen Tucker and Dale versus. Oh, come on, man. Where have you been? We're talking about the backwoods. And
Alan Tudyk,
oh man, every single
Tyler
fucking
Bean.
Notion that Southerners are just evil, but in this case it's the fucking college kids that
It's
live
the
in the
college
town.
preppy kids, yeah, that you got to
Yeah,
worry about,
and
and
they're
not,
fucking
yeah,
stupid, and it's the
extremely,
best part of the whole film. They actually pretty much they kill themselves,
yeah.
which is the funniest part of the whole thing, because
Babylon.
you would think that Tucker and Dale, these two backwoods guys that live in a forest, uh, in a cabin, and I mean, these are just great guys.
Yeah,
And, it's like
good
suddenly
old
these
country boys
college
without the
kids,
good old aspect. They're just good guys, just
yeah.
normal dudes. But they look like they live in with the Hewitt family.
Oh, yep, right.
Hitting the chainsaw.
That was the allure.
Yeah, oh, yeah, very much. It threw all of those things that you would say, okay, if this guy looks like this, you would have to, you know, it's like if you don't go into the woods with this dude, he's got to be a
Right,
killer.
you're expecting
The
the
tropes, yeah,
brownies
exactly, those
to
horror
kill
tropes,
everybody.
and they throw every single one of those on its head, and it turns, and it's oh man,
Like
I'm
every
telling you,
stereotype under the sun. Lizzie hits it on the button here. She says on Prime you can rent it for $4 or buy it for $5. She's about to dig out a gift card and buy it.
Well, that works. But this is a movie as well that you do not need to do your ab workout for the day.
Nope.
You are going to be laughing. Just be careful on your stay hydrated, but be careful on your, liquid intake because you might laugh and piss yourself at a couple times.
But that's kind of part of the romance.
Oh, yes.
Of the whole thing.
The danger. Am I going to piss myself watching this?
You could do literal drinking games to this film.
Oh, yeah. Or just not wear pants. Save the trouble of pissing in them. It's just an idea.
Not even going to touch that. Literally. But yes, you want irreverent comedy and horror and gore. Because, I mean, the one dumb son of a bitch jumps into a wood chipper for no reason.
Head first. Head first into a wood chipper. That's all we have to tell you, Babylon.
That's it.
Head first into a wood chipper. It's freaking hilarious. Yet again, though, and it won't make sense to you, but it will to us. Bees.
For sure.
Exactly. Man, you have to. We would do you a disservice if you don't see this film.
Iconic, epic comedy horror. Yes. It's a must-see. So make sure the next time you're trying to take a look at something and you need some comedy, you need some horror, you need some gore all at the same time, this is the movie for you. And guaranteed on Tubi, you'll probably find it.
Yeah, that's a possibility too.
My last pick for tonight is a play on a classic from not even like the 80s, but from the 90s. Mm-hmm. And the film was originally a family comedy. And the funniest thing about it is the original version of this film starred the ultimate scream queen of them all, Jamie Lee Curtis. And one of the most unlikely people as her co-star, Lindsay Lohan. Lindsay Lohan was her co-star. So you already know that what you're going to get with that. It was pre-drugs and partying and all that shit. But everybody, like families across the United States, absolutely loved this film. But let's fast forward 20 years later. And you get a darker, but yet fucking hilarious version of this film. But nobody ever would expect that if somebody was going to take that idea and turn it to horror, we're talking about a movie called Freaky, based on Freaky Friday. Yeah. Everybody and their mother who was in high school for like late 90s all the way through the 2000s saw that fucking movie.
Oh, but yeah. And vice versa.
Vice versa. Yeah, definitely.
Where the guy and the son.
Yeah.
Well, and then they did that. Matthew Perry did one too, where he got younger with it and did bad. He turned into what the hell's his name? I don't remember. The guy that was in High School Musical.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, you take all those like, middle class, this is okay for the whole family.
Yeah.
PG-13, and then turn it fucking rated R. And I'm telling you, the gore level in this movie, you just couldn't fucking imagine. You're going to take the idea of mom and daughter or dad and son switching bodies for a second and then take daughter and serial killer switching
Yep.
bodies, and you have fucking Vince Vaughn,
Yep.
who would have thought this motherfucker would have made an excellent fucking serial killer. I mean,
Yeah,
come on.
yeah. It
The
was an
guy,
interesting choice to begin with.
yeah,
Yeah, I
epic
agree.
fucking comedian. And then suddenly he's a he's a serial killer killing all these fucking teenagers doing home invasions, right?
Right,
So,
right.
oh my goodness.
But it was
I
definitely a good way to twist up, like you're saying, on that original concept of Freaky Friday, to really just twist it and kind of make it anti-suburbia, where you got, like you said, the daughter goes from, oh, I'm the daughter, to, oh, I'm in the body of a fucking serial killer. And yeah, very much so.
but
Great one.
when they switch, the daughter who is like this, oh, I'm not popular, I'm not, this or that,
Right.
and the serial killer goes into her, and then she kills teachers and all kinds of different people that are in her high school. And
Yeah.
it's like, you know what? This was brilliance. This was comedy gold.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. That's a great one.
Oh, for real, Babylon. He says, I picked the slapstick comedy of the Evil Dead films. Of course we do.
Oh yeah.
We don't even have to mention them. They're iconic.
Yeah, no, that's the only reason why I didn't, because Army of Darkness, Evil Dead, especially, I agree with Babel on the slapstick, and
They are staples.
yeah, it's like it's going to be mentioned. So I'm trying to go with ones that might have been under the radar, which they were for you, sir, and we will get you seeing them.
Exactly. A lot of the ones we've picked tonight, a lot of you out there in the Black Flame universe have not seen yet. And that makes me excited, because you're going to go and you're going to go watch them, and you're going to realize what the fuck we're talking about, because these ones are insane.
Oh yeah.
Vince Vaughn, who's been in like romantic fucking Christmas movies.
Yep. Yeah. Well, he's been literally Santa Claus's brother.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Which is like one of my favorite movies that he does,
been a
because
wedding
he's
crasher.
like an asshole.
He's been a dodgeball coach.
Exactly. So seeing him as a serial killer was like over the fucking mark, and he was good at it, like very good.
Yeah, he played it intense. He really did.
The Evil Dead are Mount Olympus. Yeah, of course, man. We know that.
Yeah.
Bruce Campbell is the measuring stick.
Yep.
Of these types of films. He always will be.
Shit, Return of the Living Dead.
Yep.
You know, that's definitely on there in horror comedy. It has to be, but we knew everybody knew it. So as much as we love it, it's iconic.
Exactly.
We had to jump around.
Mm-hmm. We want to open your eyes to something different.
Yeah.
And what is your last pick, sir?
Yeah, speaking of which, how would you like the lead singer of the band Foo Fighters killing his entire band while he's possessed by an evil spirit? You would have Studio 666, 2022. And it's exactly what I said. You have them go to a haunted place to literally try to record like their next album. And they just happen to get possessed. Especially Dave. And then you get to see stuff you wouldn't expect from them. It's like they're been a crazy with their videos out there kind of band. But it gets bloody. It gets crazy. It gets scary in moments too. but there's a lot of comedy thrown in there with it as well. And it's like they had fun doing it. It feels like they had fun doing it.
Ah,
We'll
Babylon has
see.
seen this
Have
one.
you seen this one? Yeah. So we're getting you. You're getting there.
Well, with damn it, I forget his name. The lead vocalist, guitarist of that band.
Dave Grohl.
Thank you, Dave Grohl. Coming off of doing Pick of Destiny,
Yeah.
which was such a great film, and him playing the devil.
Yeah.
And he was so good and
He
so
went for it.
hilarious
Yeah.
at doing that
went.
role.
Yeah.
I mean, to work with Jack Black, you have to have something.
Well, you got. I
opinion.
I got my feelings on Jack Black at times, but the thing I will give you on that is what you're saying right there. You have now, if you're working with him, you got to be willing to go.
Stop it! Calling me grandpappy.
But it's like,
it.
yeah, I mean, you got to be willing to go with him, because
Yeah.
if not, then he's going to do all the heavy lifting in the scenes. If you're willing to go with him, he'll go. They'll fully go. And
I mean, he got the whole band into this film. We're talking about Pat Smear and the late great Jay Hawkins or Taylor Hawkins. God damn it.
Yeah.
And everybody else.
Yeah, the whole band is in this. The entire band of the Foo Fighters is in this movie.
Yeah.
And in a really creepy setting. And I give him so much credit for that. Was they took like, oh, this is a nice house and stuff. And it's like, oh, but it's also kind of like in the Hollywood Hills. And it, the person that last owned it doesn't own it anymore because they're dead under mysterious circumstances, and all this stuff. And then it's like you find
Vincent Price.
Yeah, exactly. It's got little lead ups to it like that. Exactly. Yeah. It's like you could tell what he grew up on, it's like, okay, on how you make a horror movie. And if you're going to go in the Vincent Price vibe, man, you can't go wrong. That's Vincent Price. A lot of us wouldn't be here without him.
Alfred Hitchcock, all that stuff.
Exactly. Vincent helped dig me up. He was a dear friend.
That was the one under the pendulum.
Oh, yeah, no, exactly. He almost talked me into that one, but I like my height.
Exactly right. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight on this epic return to the Black Flame Entertainment Network. And exactly. I mean, we're barely alive, and that's okay because it's part of our nature. Sometimes we're kind of caught between worlds. But hopefully we have opened your eyes to some of the most epic comedic horror films that you haven't seen yet. And from some of you out there in the comment section, we can definitely tell that you have some watching to do. And that's okay, because maybe you didn't want to give it a shot before. But in this case,
went right past you, never saw it.
Right. Some of these films went right under the radar.
Yeah, they got buried by other films.
Exactly. Maybe it was the actors involved, that kind of thing, that maybe you just were like, well, it's this guy, it's this gal. This movie was just not for me. And you didn't give it a chance. But if you do, like Frighteners, Freaky, and some of these other films, you know what to do. Get out the popcorn. Get out the candles.
Get out the barbecue.
Get out the barbecue. Maybe have a human sacrifice. Maybe you want to hail Satan. And you'll have a good time with this film. So definitely give it a shot. Most of these are on Prime Video, and we know all of you in the Black Flame universe have Prime Video, or at least Tubi. So don't say you don't, or we're coming for you. That's right. Thank you all so much, but don't forget, if you are ready to sin, if you are ready to let your hair down, or in my case, let the blood flow. That's right. Tomorrow night, the goddamn program commences in epic fashion. If you are ready to blaspheme, if you are ready to dip Jesus into the devil's fucking sauce, and with a side of shrooms and the devil's lettuce to go, come join us tomorrow night at 8 o'clock CST. We will definitely turn you to the dark side. So as you are getting ready to end your Friday night in epic fashion and get some comedy horror, maybe you want to put on Scary Movie, maybe you want to go through that whole franchise, you name it, you got it. But the most important thing, stay heavy.
Thank you for joining us on Ringro's Underground. Stay tuned for more from